Hi, thanks for taking the time to view my presentation. I'm Nate Picone, and this is my walkthrough of the T1A1 portfolio website assessment for Code Academy. The purpose of this presentation is to look at the function and features of the website, a bit about the design process, and a bit about the build process. The published website is available on this link, and the GitHub repository is available at this link. Looking at the function and features of the website, I have a sitemap where the blue pages are interlinked. The blog articles page is only accessible off the blog page, and the resume is a PDF downloadable file, which is only available off the experience page. The site header and footer have key design elements with the logo and name on the left in the header, with the page links on the right. I've chosen icon as well as text to assist with accessibility and to explain what the icons are about. On the site footer, we've got the social media links, an address, contact details, and the page links are replicated. The animated background is something I'm quite proud of. This was inspired by Mohammed Abdul Mohamed on his CodePen. I've adapted the theme to fit in with my citrusy, zingy and fresh theming of the website. So I wanted to add a bit of a feeling of a carbonated beverage in the background, and I think it gives the page some nice depth. I made several changes including colour, reversing the sequence of the transition, increased the number of objects, changed the object delay, size and speed, added blur, and I really like the result. Also, specifically on the homepage, we've got animated goals text, which was inspired by Mohammed Asif's post on Code Convey. I've made significant changes to the original, and it is a series of statements that I aspire to and hopefully will resonate with clients. Within testimonials, on screen sizes other than mobile, the center tile is a hero image and adds depth to the page. On the services page, this was inspired by Anika Khan's post to dev.to. I've significantly changed it. The accordion functionality is horizontal versus the original. It is text-based rather than graphical-based. I've added some graphical elements to the headings, and the downward chevron suggests to the user that it does expand downwards. I've gone for the body, text body, to be reverse toning of the heading, which I think is nice. And on wider screens, the paragraph text is split over two columns. Clickable cards on the site, including on the projects page, raise slightly, and also grayscale on hover, which invites the user to click. Skills page, the developer skills table is something I'm quite proud of there. The pills shown on the chart show the strength of skill in those areas, and they are placeholders. Within the vertical timeline, my resume or CV is downloadable. It's a mock-up PDF download. On the blog list page, on the blog page, we've got the clickable cards again. They are anchored links, so when the user clicks on them, or when the visitor clicks on them, they go to the blog page, but specifically they go to the blog article for which they click the link. Looking at the design process, design phase 1 was a bit of a dumpster fire. I moved too quickly into building in HTML and CSS without fully planning out the site. This did have some benefits in that now I understand where and how the design process can add more value, but it did cause some delays in getting the final result together. For design phase 2, unfortunately, I lost the code implemented here due to my lack of knowledge with GitHub, probably. It's where I aligned on the current coloring. I did bring in some rounded corners here, but the design features that I used look dated. Design lacked depth, so it's no great loss that was gone. So I've landed on the current design phase. So we've got the color scheming on the left, and this was the inspiration, sort of fresh, fruity, a little bit tart. The Nunito and Barlow are the fonts used. I've got the graphical elements there all up. That leads to the website I've taken the screenshot of there. So for the build process, the one thing that I would definitely make or change in my approach to building my next website would be to spend a bit more time on the planning stage in Figma or similar. Now I truly appreciate where that adds additional value, and I think I'm better equipped to approach the design process now that I've been through a bit more of the actual build process. Flexbox was a major challenge, as was relative versus absolute unit length units, knowing when to use them and what effect they have in resizing of the web pages. Some of them had positive effects, some of them had not so positive effects, and there's still a couple of relative units that I would really like to revisit and change. Another challenge was realizing that SCSS requires the same origin points for nesting in media queries. I didn't realize that, and it took me a long time of wondering why my CSS wasn't being picked up, to understand that I needed to start from the same origin point within the media queries. Synchronizing layout adjustments across media breakpoints, so changing of a value in one and how that affects the media breakpoints further on was a challenge. The background animation presented several challenges. It was the first thing I tackled, and probably one of the more difficult ones, but it was a great challenge to approach to begin with. The animated words caused a few issues as well, but we got through those. And Flexbox, we're not talking about Flexbox. What went well? I think I've significantly improved encoding speed and skills, and it. Through the process of building the website, it triggered many minor site revisions. As I would go through, I'd discover something and then want to go back and change it on a different page. So that obviously added to the time of the creation process, but I think it's brought my skills forward quite well. I think I'm progressing all right with my skills. I've made significant improvements in my understanding of Flexbox and the speed at which I can deploy Flexbox and Grid and use the two together. Sense of coloring and styling is vastly improved from initial attempts, and I'm very comfortable with using online resources available, including Stack Overflow, W3 Schools, MDN, as well as several other resources. I'm happy with my methodical use of problem solving. Nothing really rattled me too much. I was able to apply sort of a measured approach to solving the issues, and I feel that I've got the foundations of a website that I will actually use and build upon as my personal website. And the byproduct is that now I've got some personal branding, which is fantastic, and using it in this slide presentation. Favorite parts of the website include the background animation, the skills chart, blog list, and blog post pages. I think especially the blog post page, I think that just looks really good and would look really great with a few tweaks. But overall, I'm happy with the progress so far. So for future phases, I would obviously replace the placeholders with real text and images. I would like to revisit the site once I have some skills in JavaScript, because I think there's some functionality and interaction that I'd really like to revisit and incorporate JavaScript to improve. I'd like to revisit the spacing and layout issues, particularly the ones where I've used relative length units that have caused some shifting with responsive web viewports. I would like to include more content on the homepage. I think it's a little bit sparse. The white space looks good, but I'd like to get to a point where I can include a lot more and tell a bit more of my story. And I think just overall refinement of the website with a wider skill set and revisiting after not touching it for a while. I think it's the good foundation of a personal website, and I'd like to see that develop further. Thanks for your time. Please let's not mention Flexbox again. This has been a fantastic experience, and I've definitely learned a lot from it. Thank you.